26th, and that means it's the best day of the week in some people's estimation, including mine, because you haven't used up any of your weekend, not even your Friday, but you're heading into it. So only way to make it better would be a 3-day weekend, which we don't have the luxury of this time, but that's okay. This is the segment where I talk about the day of the week and wait for Doug to come in. Here he comes. I'm going to add him, see what he's doing. He's bobbing a little bit from what I can tell. Oh, man, okay. This is going to be good. Still not entering the Instagram. There you go.
Hey, Matt. How's it going?
Scuba Steve? What's going on here?
So these are my ski goggles.
Okay.
I'm gearing up for the slopes, man. I have a 3-day weekend this weekend. I'm heading out tonight for a weekend of skiing, a long weekend of skiing. So I'm ready. I'm already ready to go.
Nice. Good. I like it. I see that you're ready to go. That's nice. That nice pair of Oakleys you have there? What brand is that?
Yeah, these are Oakleys. They're super old. They're actually a friends that I'm borrowing. They're probably about as old as I am. No, not really, but they have to be 15 years old.
Okay, Oakleys is what I knew from my skiing days, and that was the early 90s, and I was thinking maybe that's still the brand, but I guess it's just an old pair of goggles. No.
Yeah, I think they're just an old pair of beat-up goggles. With the design there makes them look. They don't make goggles that look like this anymore. I'll just say that.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I like that. I like that better than the finger exercises thing you did yesterday. that got even me some flack. People were saying, "What were you doing? Why were you having your fingers moving around on the screen?" People who glanced at it, and I said, "It's just this thing Doug did," and just had to explain it away. But tomorrow's is you're gone. You left us in the lurch for tomorrow. I have secured a co-host though. Not really. She's gonna. It's Bianca, who we talk about a lot. But I've actually never talked to Bianca, I don't think, in person. She's going to come in and she's going to update us on, I think it's called the Wonder Egg, whatever that vegan egg is, that hard-boiled egg that we thought seemed kind of weird. She tried it, and I think she really liked it. And she's got some other stuff to talk about as well, including Philadelphia cream cheese, which goes nicely off of yesterday's topic. Speaking of yesterday's topic and today's, I have the question of the day that I have set for us is, what is the best vegan dessert? Just what's the best one? Because by popular demand, we are going to do the vegan dessert hacks article, which is so overhyped right now. There's nothing. It's just a plain old, not that interesting article, which is why we kept kicking it down the road. But people said they really want to have it. So we're going to talk about that. So let us know your best vegan dessert. Desert island situation. You only get one the rest of your life. Maybe that changes the question a little bit. But you just
the rest of your life is a little bit different than
it is. You're right.
Absolutely.
You can interpret it however you would like. I don't really have a great answer here. The other day I was saying I didn't like ice cream that much, but if I have to, I just don't like desserts almost at all. So a nice little scoop of like really good vanilla ice cream, that's kind of nice and plain, and I could deal with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I mean, I do. If I'm going to eat dessert, it's probably going to be ice cream. We certainly don't have desserts around our house. Maybe cookies. Like every once in a while we'll make cookies or whatever. But ice cream would be the one that it might be in the freezer. I will say, though, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that some sort of like dense chocolate cake, like just a real, those like thinly sliced, nice little pie type things of a dense chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Not soft. Like I'm talking like cream, like fudgy. Is that? I mean, I don't know. I'm sure they have a name.
Okay. Lava cake, maybe. I don't really know.
Yeah, I could go for that though. That would be my. That would be my favorite one.
Okay. All that chocolate is too much for me. I'm just not that. I don't know. Chocolate has such intense flavor. I can go with a little square of chocolate sometimes, but the whole cake of it, I'm never interested in. But I understand. I think that'll be a popular answer. That'd be my guess. People seem to love that. All right, we got some good answers coming in here. Let's see. Aisha says her complete fallback is always blueberries and strawberries with coconut whipped cream. That's a nice, healthy, fresh choice.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
I could eat that. Family Goddess says dates stuffed with peanut butter and a few chocolate chips. Another very healthy dessert. That's basically a bunch of whole foods combined into something that tastes pretty good, except for the chocolate chips. Of course, they're not whole. Neil says pecan, however you like to say it. Chocolate pie from a local bakery in Calgary. Okay, I'm sure that's pretty good. Anne-Marie, who I know is a big dessert person, because she's been blowing up our DMs, with some dessert stuff. She says the best thing I've made is the carrot cake from Forks Over Knives. Interesting. Even non-vegan peeps like it. Bonus info that I did not include today. There's a new number 5 on the vegan cooking category in Amazon, and that is the Forks Over Knives cookbook, which I think is coming up on 10 years old now, maybe more than that. So that's pretty impressive. By my former publisher, The Experiment, who I'm a big fan of. So I don't know how they pumped that thing to number 5 again, but good for them.
Is it $1.99 this week?
No, nothing like that. And you know who's the author is Del Shroof, who was in this thing one time. Who came in the show for some reason, and I called him out, but he didn't do anything.
He didn't join in.
No, but he was here. So we have a connection to number 5 on that list. All right, my mom, I can't neglect her. She says my homemade vegan oatmeal raisin cookies. Every ingredient is healthy, and then she lists a bunch of reasons why it's healthy. Yeah, I'm a big fan of oatmeal raisin cookies. I think that's delicious. Although I don't think of cookie as a dessert so much. Cookie to me is like a little snacky kind of thing you might have. I wouldn't really have that after a dinner, but who knows? What I don't know. I'm not the authority on this. Anyway, the reason that relates to yesterday's, I was going to make today's question: how often do you go to the doctor when you're not sick? Because I knew that Doug would start squirming when I said that I don't ever. I think it's a bad idea. I think the net effect of that on average is a negative health outcome. You stuff gets diagnosed that isn't there. You end up doing unnecessary procedures, stress, anxiety. These things do hurt your health. And there's some evidence from Dr. Greger. This is where I learned this. He presented a bunch of studies that kind of demonstrated exactly that. The risk of getting sick while you're there. So at least this research said, don't go when you're not sick. And I live by that. I don't go when I'm not sick. Doug, you going to chime in and say, but we're not recommending that for everybody or something like that?
Yeah, but we're not recommending that.
Okay, there we go. Good.
I mean, the truth is, I don't either. I haven't been to a doctor aside from, something I needed to go in for. I haven't been to a doctor in multiple years, just for like a wellness checkup or well check or whatever they call it. All right,
good. So you're with me. But you're not.
I'm with you. But I'm not going to come out and say that I'm in support of telling people not to go to the doctor.
No, I can't say that I am either. I think you decide when you go to the doctor. I'm just presenting that viewpoint if you'd like to take it. And I'm not going to keep saying we're doctors, because that was my mom even called me about that one and said, I agree with Doug. You shouldn't be saying you're a doctor, which of course is the most obvious statement ever. You shouldn't be saying you're a doctor when you're not. I figured that as a big joke, it'd be okay, because everyone certainly understood that it was a joke. But I don't know, it could get in some hot water, so maybe I'm not going to do that bit anymore.
I think it's, what's funny, Matt? This is kind of a side note. I hear from my sister fairly regularly after shows, because she's a regular listener and to the podcast. Katie, my mom, your mom, your dad. I don't hear from them, but they reach out to you. I know your sister joins in sometimes. I think it's great that like we're getting all this real-time feedback on this daily podcast. Not always positive, I will say.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, it served to connect our immediate families, which has been a good thing. That's the main benefit that's come from this show is I interact more with my parents and sister and in-laws and all that. So that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, anyway, so now people are answering how often they go. Aisha also doesn't really go. Thinks you should do blood work now and then just to be aware. That's a good point. You probably should do that. And then Vegan Meanie says once a year, preventative stuff, better than having stuff pop up on you if you could have been prevented and caught early. That's the big debate, that if there were going to be one, which we're not going to get into one. But yeah, of course, that's the reason to go. Look for something early. But the problem is so much they find something that's not actually there or not actually a problem. Then you got to deal with conflict of interest, medical industry they want to do interventions because that's what their livelihood is. Anyway, we're not going to go into all that.
Yeah, the big debate that you're going to start and then abandon, is that what?
Yeah, I'm getting the last word. I just leave it at my point made.
Okay.
Anyway, I did not want to get into that. Keeping it with the nice desserts. That's a much more benign little topic. Anyway,
I got a dessert. There's like a viral, at least I think it's viral. It might have been viral many months ago. I'm not sure. Dessert right now, vegan dessert that is, that someone reminded me of because they put something similar in the comments, which was a date stuffed with a pecan. Yep. And then you dip it in chocolate, and
Yes.
and then freeze it, and it tastes like a Snickers bar apparently.
Yeah, that's a thing. I think that might be a Chef AJ move. Although she
Oh,
doesn't dip
really?
in chocolate, I don't think. But yeah, we were doing some kind of date things that would, I think we would bake them with something in them. Nuts. I don't really remember. But yeah, dates are pretty amazing at how sweet they are for
Yeah.
being a whole food. Anyway, let's see. What else do we have today, Doug? As we jump into topic, we're still running this giveaway. Don't forget, people have been entering, which is awesome. Here, you will win this book. I came prepared today. I put it next to me, Plant-Based Athlete by Robert Cheek and myself. All you got to do is leave a comment on the post when we post this live video, to our feed after we're done, or yesterday's or tomorrow's show, any of those. And if you share it in your story, you get an extra entry. We'll pick on Monday. We'll choose the winner and announce it on the show. So don't forget to do that. And then Helen, who's our athletic brewing hookup, she was the winner by purely by chance. It was not rigged or anything. She won the protein in the last competition, and so did Mr. Jeffrey, also by chance. They both have shared things about it. Mr. Jeffrey put up a story about how he was excited to have it, and Helen wrote me this. She said she just tried it, and the flavor is great, but she's also excited that it does not include a plastic spoon, and the packaging is compostable, which I feel like everyone knows that, but we probably don't talk about that really that much. It's just that we make it, so of course we know that. But she tries to be zero waste. These things are very important to her, and she'd imagine others. A lot of her food purchasing decisions are made based on the waste factor. So it's a win-win. So I'm really glad to hear that, and I figured I'd share it so that we could also get a little advertising bang for our buck here. Compliment Protein is what the prize is. She won. That's what our company makes, one of the products we make. So you can get that at lovecompliment.com.
Love it. That's great.
Yeah.
I got some mushroom news. You're the mushroom.
Let's hear it.
Well, actually, before I do that, Matt, I can hear you fine, but your video is going in and out. If anyone is having any audio issues, just let us know in the comments.
Yeah. By the way, while you say that, I meant to acknowledge yesterday's audio was pretty bad, even though my thing somehow didn't kick me out, even though it looked like we were having all these recording issues. The recording was all preserved. It was just the quality really dropped off in the second half. So I apologize for that. Hopefully this one will not have the same issues. Oh yeah, Jody's saying my video is bad too. Who knows? I don't know why. I'll send a text and see if I can clear the lines, but I don't know.
All right, so Year of the Mushrooms. I cooked up some mushrooms last night. I did something that I have never done before that I learned about. I forget where I learned about it, but the idea is very simple. You just boil your mushrooms before you cook them, and I boiled it. So what I did is this was baby. Oh man, sorry. I just got a text message and it threw me completely off. Baby portobellos, baby bellas. What I did was I chopped them up. I put them in. I boiled them for 15 minutes, just in boiling water. No, a little bit of oil, but other than that, no seasoning. Okay. And then poured.
What's the point? Hold on. You put oil in the boiling water with the mushrooms?
Yeah, that's what they told you to do. They said put butter or oil.
All right.
And then you can, one option is to just let it boil until all the water evaporates, and then you start cooking it as sauteing them as you would. Mm-hmm. I think I put too much water in there, so I ended up pouring some out, but then let the rest of it evaporate, and then just use that same pot to saute them, put in a bunch of spices, and they turned out so good. They were probably the best mushrooms I've ever cooked on a skillet, and they were just meatier. It absorbed the flavors beautifully. Just took about 15 minutes to boil them. I don't know. It was a big.
Is there any theory behind what the boiling does? Why you do that first? I mean, sure
there is. I don't want to say it wrong. I was reading that. Something about how it actually makes them drier or something.
I'm gonna ask Chat GTP. That's what I do now. That is the new Google. It's better than Google. I'm not gonna take the conversation there just yet. I do want to get into it, but I'm gonna do that while you're trying to stumble over what this is.
Yeah, but there was a theory behind it. I don't know how accurate it is, but it actually really worked. I mean, it was great. It was awesome. I would highly recommend everyone try this weekend if you don't boil your mushroom.
Okay. Good. Interesting. I like it. I've never heard of that before, and I'm gonna try it. So I'm gonna learn about it first, and then I'm gonna try it. Good. Okay. People are saying my video is not great. You can always hop over to YouTube. I think it's the No Meat Athlete account there. And Anne-Marie says the video over there is better. So I don't know what's going on. But all right. Well, GTP says that besides removing dirt and debris that may be on there and kill bacteria, it also can help to soften the mushrooms, making them easier to cook or eat. That doesn't sound like a very complete answer.
No.
I'm not thrilled with that one. Okay, what else? We have more stuff planned, Doug, besides that. People have been sending you pull-up bar suggestions. Thank you to those who have done it.
Yes,
Aisha
absolutely.
and somebody else. I think it doesn't fit your door, you said.
Yeah. It doesn't. They don't work for the door frame in my office. They would in my house, but the whole point is to get it out here somewhere. But there are some updates coming.
Something in the work. Okay, good. Announcement of an announcement. I like it.
A teaser.
Yeah. Okay, so I fooled around with Chat GPT GTP, I think. I hadn't want to do it, kind of in denial that AI was coming. Once I tried to do it, then I realized I had to get an account set up and all that, so I didn't. But then yesterday at soccer practice, I wasn't doing anything, so I just figured I would mess around with it. I had it write some paragraphs in the style of Matt Frazier about vegan meal planning, and I was like, wow, it's pretty good. It just cranked out like blog posts, so we can just start doing that now, and pretending that it's me, and just now we solve the No Meat Athlete content problem right like that. But what I also did, I started fooling around with it. I was like, this thing is way better than Googling things now, because it synthesizes what is there. You don't have to deal with going to the websites and trying to judge if they're good or not. Instead, we're just trusting the AI to basically do that for us. And so, like, we were trying to figure out where to go to lunch today with our friends who are here, and we said, like, what's a good restaurant nearby that's good for vegans and non-vegans? And it gave us like 5 great choices. I asked it, how do they get the cells from animals in the cultivated meat production?
Oh.
And it said that it can be done a lot of ways. It's typically like a biopsy kind of situation. And they usually will give anesthesia to the animal to make it a painless process. And they can also get it some other ways, like just a skin scraping apparently can be done. It sounds like very humane. But then I said, how about bovine fetal serum? Because I knew that's a problem, and that is thankfully being replaced, or they're developing ways to do without that. And they said that one, they slaughter the cow, they humanely slaughter the cow, whatever that means, and then take the fetus away, and then go into it and take its blood or whatever. So that's still a horrible thing.
Yeah, no.
So we got to move past that before I'm going to consider any of this cultivated meat in my diet. But anyway, I just thought that was cool because like I haven't really tried Googling those things before, even though I've been curious, because I've assumed that I would just like, I don't know, they're just going to take me forever to figure out what site is going to give me a proper answer. Because you can't always type questions into Google. I guess it's getting better at that. But I don't know. This thing, I'm just mind blown at how cool it is. It does make some little mistakes here and there. It's not certainly the most, not perfect yet. But I'm just amazed. And then I was like, give me a plot line idea for a mystery novel involving soccer. And it just like made up something, the penalty kick murder or something. And then this is the whole plot. It's like, wow, I don't need authors anymore. Just start using this. I mean, we're going to get...
You were cracking me up, man. You're like 6 weeks behind the rest of the world.
Yeah. I was slow to adopt, but then I thought if I don't adopt, I'm going to be left behind. And that's not
yeah. No, it is. I mean, it really is amazing. It's fun doing the having it write. I had it write compliment emails and had it write like a storyline, like you just said. It's real fun to see what they come up with, what it can come up with. I think you still gotta wonder if all the facts are right that it's telling you about with the like where it's getting its facts.
Right, but you could just trust it. You could just assume we're going to trust anything the AI says, and then we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it did. Was it you that said it passed some sort of Harvard?
Yeah, business school. Yesterday? You got to be on the business school exam.
Mm-hmm. And
so we don't need that anymore.
It passed some medical exam the other day.
Yeah, we don't need anybody's jobs anymore. Basically, we just don't. We don't have.
I got a newsletter from Ultra Sign Up yesterday, or I think it was Ultra Sign Up. That the subject line caught my attention because it was the only newsletter you'll read this week that wasn't written by AI. And I thought that like everybody's doing exactly this. And
yeah, it's a lot of interesting thought experiments come about then. Like once everyone starts doing it, what kind of content matters anymore? I don't know, just crazy stuff. But I had some fun with it. It's amazing. So if you haven't done that, or if you've been like me and you're just in denial or just whatever, go to it. I think it's OpenAI is the company, and you just Google and sign up for a login and all that. So fun to do, and kind of amazing. Okay, so that's all our warm-up stuff. Let's get to our weather report today, Doug. If you're ready for that,
I'm ready.
You ready for that?
I'll go ahead and put on my ski goggles in case it's windy out here.
Okay, there you go. It's windy. Plant-based chicken brand Daring, who I have not had the pleasure of trying yet, have announced a new one: teriyaki plant-based chicken pieces. Of course, I'm not eating any of that stuff for 5 more days, but only 5 more days left in my challenge, so that's exciting. You can get it in Albertsons, Vons, Pavilion, Safeway, Jewel Osco, Shaw's, Acme Cars, and Tom Thumb. Doug, you ever make your way to a Tom Thumb grocer?
Never heard of it, but that's a lot of spots.
Neither have I, but Safeway I know. All right, Stumptown Coffee Roasters, Portland-based chain. I thought they were a New York chain, so I was wrong about that one. They have now made oat milk the default, milk in their prepared beverages. They have 10 coffee shops in 3 states and Japan, so that's kind of cool. No upcharge or anything like that. And this was based on consumer demand and the smaller carbon footprint, so good for them. Also, Starbucks in Argentina is doing basically the same thing, not making it the default, but they now have a partnership with Not Milk, which is somebody, maybe Mr. Jeffrey's favorite brand, I don't know. They have a partnership with them, and they now have the no upcharge vegan milk happening in Argentina, Starbucks. So that's kind of cool. They've also, in Mexico, are doing some Notco products, chicken baguette and a Not Burger baguette. So that's kind of neat. And finally, nitrates, which we all know are a bad food. They're one of the things that makes the processed meat so bad. They've been linked to a higher risk of type 2 diabetes, according to a new article in PLOS magazine. People knew that nitrates were bad. We didn't know how they were linked to type 2 diabetes. So now we've got one more reason to avoid the summer sausage or whatever kind of those prepared processed meat things that they put them in. Slim Jims, I guess, probably too.
Slim Jims?
I'm guessing they're full of nitrates. I don't really know.
Yeah, you're probably
right.
I
used to house some Slim Jims when I was that and Yoo-Hoo. I would be like my just perfect snack.
Slam into a nitrate.
I think it's snap into a Slim Jim, isn't it?
I thought it was slam into a Slim Jim.
I think it's snap into a Slim Jim. I don't know. Could be wrong. Okay, so that's your weather. Anything else, though, before we move into the content of the show? This big dessert article that everyone's so hyped about.
No, I think I'm good. I think I've got everything. I think I've covered it all.
All right, good. We are knocking some topics off today, which is good.
I think you're trying to fill the time so we don't have to do this article. We run out of time.
No, it's the next article I don't want to get to. Where this one's good. After this, the quality, the exciting factor goes downhill quickly. But we'll see. So this is all right. This is from Veg News. It's a couple days old now. 5 vegan hacks to make your dessert healthier. And as I said, I was going to pass on this one, but people just said they wanted it. So here we go. Anne-Marie especially wanted it, but she was telling me all the things she does, and she already does all these things. So that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Number 1 is use natural sweeteners, which I actually take issue with this first one. I guess they're saying natural as opposed to artificial. I'm not really sure about that. No, they're not. That's if you take it to mean that, then I agree. Let's use the natural sugar and things over fake things that aren't really sugar. With the exception possibly of things like stevia or whatever, although I hate how those taste. But the point here, and a lot of people have this opinion, is that if you can get like organic cane sugar or even agave syrup or maple syrup, that this is better than sugar, or that like real sugar is now an advertising claim they make on their packaging, as opposed as if to say this is not high fructose corn syrup, and that's the claim, and that this sugar, then this white sugar, aside from any vegan issues with the bone char, that it's somehow healthier than that. I'm a big fan of examine.com, which is a pretty good unbiased site to look at, solve questions like that. I'm guessing
Yeah.
Chat GTP probably leans pretty heavily on them too. I'm going to ask them about sugar. I'm going to ask them what they think about sugar. I think, and this is from examine.com, zero noticeable health difference from any of these sweeteners, right? No matter how organic and brown your sugar is, or if it's a syrup, or if it's high fructose corn syrup, it's not better than it is natural organic sugar than that stuff. It's all sugar. Your body handles it almost the same way. The one exception I'll give you is date sugar, which is actually just ground up dried dates. So that includes all the fiber and stuff. So that is still whole, just dehydrated. But I don't think there's much improvement at all from changing your sweetener just to another one.
Interesting take. I mean, I have no idea, so I can't really comment. But that makes sense. Honestly, it kind of makes a lot of sense. This, we're being sold that certain types of sugar are better than others, but sugar, added sugar is added sugar, and you should probably stay away from it as much as you can.
Not probably. You absolutely should stay away from it as much as you can. I think that is a known. We can make that definitive statement, Doug, despite how it might make you uncomfortable to do that. I know, but we're going to make it. Stay away from the sugar, the added sugar. All right, number 2.
From Dr. Fraser. No.
Nope, not a doctor.
No, not a doctor. Hey, if you are adding sugar, if you're adding some sort of sweetener to like a sauce, like a tomato sauce or something like that, what are you adding? Or do you just not do it?
I really don't do that. There was some period when I was reading that people, so I forget who it was. I think that Buddhist chef guy we had on the No Meat Athlete podcast one time, he said he did that. And so I experimented with it. I think I sometimes put white sugar, sometimes I just put maple syrup, because those are what we had. So that's what I used. But I don't think they're any better than if I had a bottle of high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
Could I use that?
Yeah.
I don't know. What about you?
Maple syrup. And it's because of that guy, same guy, the Buddhist chef guy. He puts it in like every recipe that he has. And and for whatever reason, it just kind of that stuck with me. So if I ever feel like it needs like a sauce needs a little bit of sweetness or something, I put maple syrup in there.
Every now and then I will taste one and it's just a little bit too acidic and it needs some balance.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's not like, it's never been like a miracle fix. I always think like because he said that, I'm like, this is going to make it suddenly great. And I don't know. It's okay, but it's just never been that great. Anyway, whatever. All right, number 2, skip the gluten. Another kind of controversial one because, a lot of people, now I'm not saying that people don't have serious gluten intolerances or celiac disease, of course. People do. But I think a lot of people kind of want to be like gluten sensitive. So they kind of jumped on that. Like, oh yeah, that could work for me. I could become a gluten sensitive person and I'm going to start avoiding gluten. Unfortunately, that has happened, I think, in a lot of people. So I don't know if you need to skip the gluten if it's not something that gives you problems. But if it is, then sure. If you really do believe that, and if you've noticed that it does, then by all means, skip that gluten. I didn't really say the hack. What's the hack to do instead? I guess just gluten-free flour, right? You can get all kinds of good gluten-free flours.
I guess.
And it's kind of hard to call this a hack.
I mean, honestly, in the first 2 of these, I mean, not to call out the publisher of this, but I guess that's what we're doing. I mean, neither of these have anything to do with being vegan, right? Like, you can have unnatural sweeteners that are vegan easily. You can have gluten and that's vegan. So like what why is this a vegan hack?
Well, because it's not a vegan hack. You're right. It's just a hack. Veg News does try to target their content, some of it to health stuff. Like they're vegan first and foremost, but they often do in their articles give you sort of health tips too. So they're just giving that. I think we're going to get to the vegan part, Doug. I'm not really sure, but we'll see what happens. Number 3, but my bigger issue is they didn't recommend any hack. They just said have a gluten-free one instead. And that's not like the hack would be like, tell me the miracle product that I put in instead, and now I can't taste any difference, but now it's gluten-free. That's a hack. All they did was link to some recipe. All right. Number 3, rethink dessert entirely. So this is like I think Aisha said she does. Veg News recommends sticky sweet roasted sweet potato glazed in maple syrup frozen cotton candy grapes and juicy medjool dates stuffed with nut butter, which is we heard someone say exactly that. I think. Now this is good. I like this. This still maybe not a hack, but a nice alternative to the type of desserts most people are thinking about. So this is the first one that I'm a big fan of this point.
Agreed. Yeah, definitely. And this is more of my approach to desserts anyway. I think probably yours as well. Like if I do want something sweet after dinner, or just as a little treat, it'll be fruit and I don't know.
Yeah,
dates.
And that's not entirely a health decision. I mean, I guess maybe just the taste buds have changed over the years, but like most of the time, that sounds a lot better to me. Like if I had a fruit that was like had some whipped cream on it, like Aisha said, like some berries and a little bit of that, like that to me, most days is more attractive than the huge chocolate cake thing that you mentioned. As like, and I think that's what you were getting at when I said desert island food is very different from best, most luxurious dessert. So yeah, I mean, you can get to well, maybe not everybody. Maybe some people are kind of programmed to want those indulgent desserts. But I do think you can kind of find this that most days you don't want them.
Yeah.
All right, number 4, cut down on oil. So this is getting more vegan, Doug. I mean, certainly you could swap butter for oil if butter's in your desserts. I don't know if that's a perfect 1-1 swap all the time. I think butter probably does some stuff. I don't really bake, so I don't know anything. But anyway, they're just saying you can cut down on it. They recommend you can try swapping half the amount of oil for applesauce, for example, next time you make your famous banana bread, Doug. They said that. I didn't. That wasn't me. I mean, I said Doug, but they're just saying next time you make your famous banana bread. Yeah, nut butter also works. And that's, that one's pretty good. It works in dense things because it would probably make something too dense if it wasn't. But I like nut butter because then you're using a whole food fat, and that's almost always a better choice. Okay, number 5, fill up on healthy fat. Very similar to the number 4. In this case, healthy fat options happen to be vegan, include tahini, olive oil, avocados, and nut butter. So yeah, that's number 4, just split into 2 parts.
Have you ever made dessert with tahini before?
I think I have. I don't really know.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure I've seen it.
Huh.
I don't think you can just put that into any dessert and it's going to be good. I think there are certain types of dessert that's actually are naturally made that way. Maybe Greek kind of things. I don't really know. But that seems like kind of a wild one to me.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so that's it. That's your hyped up article about baking dessert hacks.
So really one hack and one good suggestion.
Yeah.
And then the rest are eh.
You know what though? I'm gonna take this moment to say I appreciate Veg News and I appreciate The Beat and I appreciate Plant-Based News. All these, today as I was preparing for the show, I was like, I don't want to be just grumpy about these sources anymore. They're good. They're doing a good service. Sometimes there's typos, sometimes it's not, but you got to feed the content monster. It's hard to do. It's hard to crank out content on a daily basis. And they crank out 100 times the amount we do. So,
oh yeah,
it's all right.
I mean,
I'm okay with them.
I love it. I think they're great.
Yeah, I know.
We wouldn't. This show wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Veg News, The Beat, and Plant-Based News. And
no, right, definitely not. Right. All right, Path to Ultra. That's Mr. Jeffrey's alias. He says, I'm delayed, so it sounds like Doug keeps cutting me off. That's a weird thing. You did mention a delay the other day, Doug, that you suspected there was one. So bummer. Hopefully if you're listening on the podcast, you're not having that problem. I would suspect that you're not. But that's a bummer. I don't like these tech issues. They really they make me angry. Just when I was getting positive and happy about some stuff. I don't know. I feel like we need a better system here. I need Instagram to update and start doing like Twitter Spaces so that we can bring people on more easily with just audio. But anyway, what are you gonna
do? Dale Stevens says there's been some awkward pauses, so it does seem like we're having some issues in the live. Maybe this is an opportunity to tell everybody to go to YouTube. I mean, we kind of did that. Your mom helped do that for Twitter here a little while ago, but you can catch us live there. Hey, I've got something. If we're trying to potentially not do the next article, I've got something kind of interesting that I meant to share and I didn't.
Okay.
This was an Instagram post I found on Live Kindly that I was reminded of when we were talking about the different news sites here that
Okay.
we like. And it is the best ways to use each non-dairy milk. And I thought that their recommendations were
Okay. I like that. That's better than what we had. The ones we had were just high tech things. Somebody turning, I don't know, greenhouse emissions into plant-based protein, which is pretty amazing, but just too technical to get into. So anyway, and I was going to dovetail off that when the AI and just announce that the world's problems were pretty much solved because there's so many examples in history of problems that seem like they're threatening the existence of humanity, and then in hindsight, 20 years later, it's like, oh my gosh, what a joke that thing was. Once technology just fixed it for us, and I think that's happening with all the problems in the world. Pretty much, it's happening now, and it's good. Oh, quick aside before we get into that, because I do want to get into that, Doug. I asked the Chat GPT or GTP. I should know what this is. It makes me sound like I'm an old person, I'm sure.
the old chat on G.
What is it? Is it GTP? Is that right?
I think so, yeah. GTP.
Okay. Well, I said, tell me a good vegan joke, a good joke about vegans. That's how I phrased it. And it refused to do so. It said it will not tell jokes about groups that are like easy to target or whatever. And I thought, at first I was like, come on, like just, I then wrote, I'm vegan, I won't be offended. And then it said, I understand that you personally won't be offended, but it's just my thing. I don't do that. And so I was like, come on, like, do we need to build in like morality into this thing? Can't we just let it be a free thing that just works and we can decide what's right and wrong? Not it. But then I thought AI threatens itself to destroy the human race. And if from the very first mainstream uses of it, somebody's already stepping in and saying, I'm going to tweak this thing so it can't just do whatever it wants or whatever people tell it. I'm going to do something that I think makes humanity a little bit better. And even if I don't agree that that's the right move, I think it's a good thing in general that we're thinking this way. We're building in guardrails to prevent it from taking over the planet, I think. Mm-hmm. So I like that.
I like it too. And this is one of those things that when it first came out, you know, it censors itself, or not censors itself, but it doesn't talk about certain issues. It won't incite violence, and you know, it won't do certain things that you know, that people could potentially use it for harm. And sure. I thought that was really a positive thing, because, you know, talk about AI actually shaping and changing the world for the bad, you know, or like you know, taking over humans or whatever. Like, if, you know, let's say there was a group who wanted to come up and generate a bunch of content and generate a bunch of negativity towards this another group, like you could really, I don't know. I mean, you could come up with all kinds of things and start all kinds of stories and all kinds of information sharing that that could lead to some not good things. So I appreciate that the OpenAI has built that in.
I appreciate it too. The problem is, of course, they'll just get it from someone else who's willing to, you know, make that version and sell that version for money, and then you know, the bad guys still get it. So, you know, that's not going to fix the problem, but it's interesting. All right, shifting from that very smoothly back to the plant-based milks, the uses, Doug. Why don't you walk us through the uses of those plant-based milks?
Okay, I did Slack you the link, so you have it.
Oh, did you? Okay, good. I'll check that out.
Okay, so this is from Live Kindly on Instagram. There might be an article about it too somewhere, but this is the best ways to use each non-dairy milk. Starting with almond milk, low calorie, best for coffee and cereal. Okay.
I believe the cereal for sure. I'm kind of surprised that'd be a coffee recommendation compared to oat milk, but it's good. I can get behind that.
Well, so oat milk is next. Oat milk is rich and creamy, best for lattes, pasta sauces, and soups. Which I find this interesting. So rich and creamy. So lattes, I think like almond milk maybe is a milk replacement in your coffee, but if you're making a latte, if you're trying to froth it,
doesn't froth.
Oat milk is probably a little bit better.
Okay.
I have never used oat milk or any non-dairy milk, I don't think, except for maybe a can of coconut milk in any pasta sauce or soup. How about you?
It's funny, that actually reminds me of something. We made a mushroom dish the other night, and I had done it before and it had been really good, but I could not remember what I replaced the heavy cream with, because I don't have a vegan heavy cream substitute in my house. And now this triggers me to remember what I did was Miyoko's butter and some oat milk. and it came
Huh.
out great. And this week when we did it, it didn't come out as good because all we did was use Miyoko's butter, and I could not remember that I also added oat milk, but that's what it was.
Oh.
So that's the trick. So now I know. Good. And I believe that one. I think oat milk. Yeah, oat milk to me is great in all these, but I don't know. I haven't had enough. I haven't ever just poured oat milk into coffee and tasted that coffee compared to almond milk. So I have to go with the people who have actually done it.
Soy milk. The picture is silk. Soy milk, high in protein, best for baking.
Okay. Yeah, the protein thing is like the standout thing for soy milk, and I'm not speaking just nutritionally, like so that you can get more protein, but like that makes it fundamentally different from the others to me, because the others, as far as I know, have like negligible amounts of protein in them. So if there's stuff where you need the structure of protein, and I don't know what they would be, but I guess baking is one of them, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole health experience asks, aren't oat milks full of gums? I think they're all full of gums, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't worry about gums. I just ignore that.
Coconut milk, and this, at least the picture they have here, is a can of coconut milk, which, as we talked about the other day, is very different than if you were to get a box of coconut milk.
Right.
And they say it's thick and creamy, best for curries, soups, and pasta. I made curry with it last night to go with my mushrooms, and have definitely put it into Anissa does it pasta sauce, lentil bolognese sauce. So I agree with this.
Yeah, the thing about coconut milk that, like soy milk, has the protein that makes it different. Coconut milk, the thing that makes it different is the saturated fat. I mean, fat in general, but specifically saturated fat. I don't know, 50 times the amount of that's in these other ones. Maybe not 50, but 10 or 20, a lot. Like it's totally different. It's so much fat calories. And I'm not saying you shouldn't ever have that. You can get the light coconut milks that are about 50% of those amounts, and that's usually what we do. But they definitely don't taste quite as luxurious, for sure. But anyway, if you're using milk in a context where you're depending on that milk fat, then coconut milk is going to be a great choice.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Rice milk,
that, Doug.
Rice milk, which I don't think I've ever actually used before. Natural taste and thin, best for desserts.
Where are you seeing these? I only see. Oh, you hit the little arrow. Okay, good. I thought it was only 4. Okay.
No, there's 4 more.
Oh, good. Keep them going.
Rice milk. You ever use rice milk?
I don't think I ever have. Maybe tasted it. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't either. Best for desserts.
Used to be really popular, right?
Maybe if you made like a vegan flan or something, or not flan. That's not what I'm thinking of. What am I thinking of? Like a tres leches, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe you'd want the rice milk on that. I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, I can believe that. Because you gotta have 3 milks, right? So you might as well. You're gonna be using rice.
Yeah, that's right. Pea milk, which I mentioned the other day. Did I love pea? You think I love pea? Is that what you said?
I didn't mean to say it that way. That's actually how you said it a couple days ago. It was pretty funny. But yeah, you guys really like the pea milk.
I would not say at all that we really liked pea milk. If I implied that, then that was incorrect.
Okay, go ahead.
We used it for a little while when we were transitioning Eliza off of weaning, and she really wanted milk at night when we were weaning Eliza, and so because we were looking for something that was high in protein and high in fat, and mostly fat, honestly. We were looking for a fatty milk, and pea protein did that for us, or low in fat. Low in fat.
This one says low in fat, but I thought Ripple, who's the example they show here, I thought they supplemented their stuff with omega-3s.
They do. They definitely do.
Okay.
And it has more. They fortify it more than anybody else.
Right. So it's low in maybe total fat, but high in some of those important omega-3s.
So yeah, so we used it for a little while with Eliza. We haven't bought any since then, but high in protein, low in fat, best for smoothies and coffee. I don't know.
Yeah, never tried it. The idea of it disgusts me because I don't like peas. So pea milk sounds even worse.
Macadamia milk, which I've definitely never had before. High in fat, best for lattes, ice cream, and soup. Okay.
I'd like to try that one. I feel like macadamia nuts have a good, rich taste that I could imagine making a good milk.
Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
finally, the last one they mentioned here is flax milk. Again, I don't think I've had this one either. Thick, best for coffee, baking, and smoothies. So a lot of these are good for coffee, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. I've not tried flax milk either. That's another one that just, I don't know. It just seems unappetizing to me because flax seeds have the omega-3s make them smell kind of like fishy almost sometimes. So it just doesn't seem very good. But I should have a more open mind. I don't really use many plant milks in my life. That's what it comes down to for me.
We have soy milk in the house at all times. We have coconut milk, canned coconut milk, and then we have oat milk too. We have all three of those because Katie uses oat milk for she does chai lattes most morning. And she uses oat milk for that. We have soy milk for if we're ever doing cereal or something, and then coconut milk for cooking.
Okay. Path to Ultra here points out he doesn't like peas either, and pea milk is disgusting. But 57% peas and complement protein. Yes, that is true. 57% pea protein makes up complement protein. Yeah, that's okay. I don't know why that doesn't like yellow pea protein has always been not a trigger word for me. But pea milk, I don't know.
It definitely has a different taste than the other ones. It's like it's like a little thicker and richer, and I don't know. It tastes different than almond or soy.
Okay. You don't ever make these milks at home, right, Doug? You don't have like a machine that would do that?
No, I would be into that.
Would you?
Yeah, I would do that. I think, but I never have.
Yeah. We used to make almond milk in the Blendtec, but it was not any better than what you get in the store. Maybe it was. Just then you had all that almond pulp left over. Okay, so let's see. Dale Stevens is making horchata. Sounds like homemade rice milk with cinnamon. That's kind of cool. Sounds like a drink you'd be into, Doug.
Yeah, I love horchata.
I'm sure you do.
Goes beautifully with my tacos.
Sure, it's a perfect drink. Go with all your dinners.
Oh man, when we were in Mexico, we had some there.
Yeah. I don't remember loving it, but I think it was okay.
Oh, I'm all about it.
Okay. I've had horchata in Spain, and it is tiger nut milk. It's called, and it's very different from this South or whatever Mexican version.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's like a totally different drink. Okay, well, good discussion in the comments. Unfortunately, we didn't call them out as we were going. Someone suggested that I leave and come back. I don't know. Am I able to leave and come back a live show like this that I started?
No, I think it would turn off the live. Yeah.
Anyway, too late for that anyway. Okay, well, that's all. I apologize for the tech issues, everyone. 2 days in a row now, and I really wish we had a way to fix that. I don't really know of any way to improve it. Honestly, I can reset my home internet every now and then. That does seem to fix stuff, but I have a feeling Instagram's going to give us something new pretty soon. I think they don't want to be left behind with this Twitter Space phenomenon that's happening. So we'll see. Hopefully they upgrade it.
And hopefully it has nothing to do with the metaverse.
Yeah, hopefully not. I'm not interested in the metaverse still.
Hey, Matt, a little housekeeping thing. Can you kick me out? Is there like 3 dots that you can?
I was trying to do that actually today. I clicked on the no, I clicked on like the button where I would add someone and thinking maybe that it shows all the existing guests there. But no, I don't know how to do it. It's crazy. This is great content, by the way. Us trying to troubleshoot. All right, so we're working on our own. By the way, sorry, I just don't want to ignore this question. Aisha asks if I said I don't like Violife cream cheese, and yes, I did. It tastes too coconutty to me, so I just wasn't. It just didn't. I don't know. I appreciate the coconut can add saturated fat, but sometimes it doesn't. The taste is very distinctive, and that doesn't belong in all contexts, you know.
Yeah. All right. As we wrap up here, quick reminder: we're doing the giveaway. Go to yesterday's, today's, or tomorrow's episode on Instagram. Leave a comment. Follow us on Instagram, and if you share it, you get an extra entry into that to win a free plant free copy of Plant-Based Athlete. And I will not be here, but I am so glad that Bianca's taking over my spot tomorrow. I look forward to hearing how that goes. I'll definitely
Well,
listen
she
in.
didn't, just to be fair, set the expectation. She didn't commit to doing the show. She's just going to come on as a segment. And I said, hey, how about you do the whole thing? We'll just make it short. And she was like, I don't know if I can do that. I'll just stay on for a long time. So
Okay.
I don't want her to feel like it's all hyped up and she has to be a co-host for the whole thing.
Okay.
But it's going to be a different show tomorrow. It's going to be short because I don't have someone else lined up, and I'm not going to go for 45 minutes, I don't think, unless Bianca and I just hit it off and it's just a banging convo and people are like, this is great. We'll see.
I hope Doug breaks his leg and never comes back.
All right. Really quickly, Mr. Jeffrey, aka I don't know if I'm supposed to say his that he's this other guy here. Maybe I am. I don't think it's a secret. But I'd like to know why you have 2 accounts, Mr. Jeffrey. What's the point of that? But anyway, he suggested I ask ChatGTP how to kick someone out. And you can do it by tapping on the 3 dots in the bottom right corner of the screen while they're in the live stream. Says the AI. This will open a menu where you can select remove to remove them from the live stream.
This really is riveting content. I hope that you should have ChatGTP join you tomorrow as your co-host.
I mean, I could do that. If I could type fast, I could put my words in there and then see what it says in response. All right, good enough. Yeah, I think that's it. We don't need to keep this kind of content going. But thank you everyone who joined us today. And I did like the rest of the content. I thought it was a fun show, and I hope you did too.
Absolutely. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Have a great weekend,
Goodbye.
everybody.